Hello everyone, my name is Leo DonLeon and let's make a review of the hand history that one of my students has sent me. His nickname is MilonTi. He's from Russia and he managed to reach the final table of the Sunday Million. As you can see, it was in Knockout Sunday, so don't be surprised that we'll have a chaos here. To analyze this deep run, we'll use the software IC 2 and let's begin. Before this video, I decided to pick only such hands where my student decided to play. So I used the filter VPIP yes. So we'll not see any hands where my student decided just to fold. By the way, his name is Ruslan. So the first hand at the beginning of the Sunday Million, we have Ace Queen on the big blind. I think that call here will be okay because of the sizing. And our opponent decided to choose. We hit a rather interesting board. It is paired, so we will not fold on flop, and we just should choose between raising and calling. So our opponent decided to bet rather big bet, at least a little bit less than half of the pot. I think that we can just call here, and the 7 of diamonds on turn. I think that here we can also continue check calling if we have statistics on our opponent, or we just can think about any long bets. It's interesting, Ruslan decided to bet here because 7 of diamonds doesn't improve our opponent's range, so interesting decision, but I don't know what kind of hands do we want to bluff here. We want to make our opponent fold Ace King or what? Maybe he just didn't want to call, so he decided it would be better to bet himself. So his opponent decided to fold. Interesting spot, but let's move on. Another spot against the same player. It was raise from middle position, cold call from button. Here we can use two options. We can make squeeze, and call also will be okay because of the deep stacks and our hand. We decided to call, okay. Flop 2 pairs. I think that we can play check raise here if our opponent decided to bet. Because if he'll bet versus two opponents on such board, hopefully he'll have some a6. He decided to bet more than half of the pot. I think the check raise here is okay. We decided to call, so maybe we wanted to make this active move on turn. 10 of diamonds, not the best card for us, but as we can imagine, this card can improve our opponent's range, who could bet with some kind of king, jack, king, queen, jack, queen, and so on. Also, he can continue with his flush draws, so we can check here with the plan to check raise. But our opponent decided to check behind. Bad for us. Oh, jack on turn. One of the worst cards ever, so we cannot make any value bet here, so we just have to check with the plan to check call his bet. Not a huge bet on the river, but we have a plan. We had a plan, so we have to call. And set on the river. Okay, let's move on. Jack 10 off suited, I think, versus cutoff and small blind we can call here. Didn't hit our flop, so we decided to check behind. Ace is not our card, so we continue checking. And here, even if we can see that this bet is really small, we cannot do anything with our hand, so just need to fold here. Okay, ace-8 suited. I think we can play here because we have more chips than our opponent, so we can hunt for his bounty. Get called by two opponents, just backdoors with one overcard. Decided to check, and after such action, I think that we can just fold here.
Attention please. Wanna save 300 euros only until the end of this month? Poker Room is ready to pay for you. Academy of Poker course includes group training, 3 personal lessons from professional poker coach, personal manager and bonus, up to 30 euros from Poker Room. Hurry up! The offer extends soon. A link to sign up is in the description under this video.
Okay, let's move on. Ace-5 suited. I think we can just fold pre-flop with our stack size and with our, at least, hand. So I really don't like this call. We hit the second pair, checked, and when our opponents checked behind, I think that now we have maybe we have a better hand, and also 7 is a good card for us to bluff here, because for example, cutoff cannot have 7x in his range, so 7s could be in our range or in big blind's range. So I think that we should bet here. I think that this size is okay. We just want to make our opponents to fold their overcards, and I think we can make them with such sizing. Get called by ace money. 8 on turn. I really don't think that we have a value bet here, so we just check and versus bet like 1000. You know, we have such a bet run out on the river. Our opponent can have backdoor flushes, straight draws. Also, he could have a 7. So I really don't want to call here with our pair. I hope that he decided to fold here. Yeah, it was pretty good decision. Okay, let's move on. Versus min raise, I think that we can just call here with 10-9 suited because we are in position here. We hit a top pair. After 2 checks, we need to bet, and I think that we need to bet really a huge amount of chips because of needed to protect our hand. I like this sizing. Get raised. We cannot give up here because we have just 2.5 thousand chips, and this board is rather wet. Our opponent can play in such way with some hands like Jack Queen, Jack King, backdoor flush draws with overcards. He could have any like Ace 8 cards, so we just have to call. Not very bad. So our next hand with pocket 10s. Let me see. We have some kind of a problem with the hand history because somehow we get 18,000 chips. So maybe some hands were just lost. But okay, let's look at this spot. Open limp from UTG and isolate from button. I think that we can just overcall here, not 3-bet, because we want to get Nizza in our pot. So I like calling here. We have a second pair. After checking behind on flop, I think that he cannot have any king x in his range, so we have a better hand here. Almost always we need to value bet and get 2 folds. Okay, let's move on. Open raise from UTG, call cutoff. I think we can call here. Wow, we decided to squeeze. I really don't like this decision because we're playing against the early position, and also our hand is really good for post flop. So we should just call here, but not squeeze. Get called by Crazy Leon and hit the top pair, so we can just shove here. Look, we decided to bet right the same amount of chips that he has, almost his amount of chips, and he just folded. Okay, ace king suited, get a huge, really huge 3-bet, and we should just call here because of our hand. It is really strong, so we have also potential to hit some flush draws. We decided to fold. You know, I don't like this decision because we have really strong hand. Can we say that he cannot 3-bet with such sizing with ace queen suited? We don't. Can he 3-bet with pocket tens? Yes, he can, so we cannot fold here. I really don't like our decision. Ace jack of suited from early position, okay, get called. So paired board. I think that we can just check call here because we have rather huge equity, but not more than 50%, so that we could bet here for value. Check fold again. Really, I don't like these two decisions in a row. Folded with ace king, and here folded with ace jack. I don't like. We have 91 big blinds. We can play a lot of streets here. I think that it is a mistake. Queen 6 suited decided to cold call pre-flop. I think that it is a rather weak hand to make this call. So maybe we have an argument for calling here, just that we have more chips than our opponent. So sometimes we can just hit our nuts and we'll get his bounty, but it is not really a strong argument, so I'll just fold pre-flop this hand. 2 checks. I don't think that we can bet here because we don't have backdoors and flush. So we hit a top pair and our opponent decided to bet. We cannot fold here because we have an overpair, like it is a top pair, but it appeared on turn. Get called by the big blind. Oh, bad card on the river, and our opponent helped us to choose the right decision and just to fold here. Okay, let's move on. Open limp again, isolate from hijack, but rather small size, so we can just call here because of our post-flop playability with his hand. Get called by limper. We have 2 overs and backdoor flush draw, but I don't like this huge bet from our opponent. If we call here, almost always he'll go all in on turn, and it would be great for us if we will hit any kind of flush draw. So because of this, I think that we can just fold right now. I like it, really. If he bets a little bit less, then we could think about calling here. Okay, king deuce of hearts. We could just fold pre-flop. It is not necessary to cold call here. Again, just fold. I think that it was a lot of mistakes here for the last 5 minutes of review. Okay. We have present with our queens. I don't really think that it is matters. Do we shove here or just decided to call? We just can do both these options. It doesn't matter. Our opponent shows, wow, ace-9 off-suited, 22 bigs against the whole table. Okay, we had mistakes, but this is a huge mistake, really. Moving on, Queen-9 suited, should defend here, get the top pair, decided to donkey bet. I don't like this decision because we could just check shove here. And with this donkey bet, we make our opponent to fold all his bluffs that he could bet in such board. So I think that it is a mistake. Ace queen suited, so we can just squeeze here. Here we are. Okay, I like it. Get called by two opponents, so we have such a huge pot. And luck for us, we get a top pair. I don't think that we should go all in. I hope we would bet something like 30% of the pot so that we could shove on turn. No. I think that it is a mistake. We don't have really a lot of straight draws in their ranges. In the ranges also we have an ace of diamonds on flop, so it decreases the quantity of combos of flush draw. So I think that is a mistake. We decided to play with ace-2, ace-deuce of clubs. Interesting decision. I hope that it was a misclick. If not, it's also a mistake. We have a good board full bluffing, because if we'll just give up here, we will not win this spot anytime because of our very weak hand. So we decided to bluff and need to continue here to make our opponent fold his ace-x combos, weak pairs, and we need to bet huge here. Oh, really nice. We win this spot, but as I said before, it was really a bad decision to open raise with ace-deuce. Oh, again present with the $75 bounty. We decided just to call here, and if somebody decides to shove, it will not be a problem for us. We would call him, but nobody come in our spot, and yeah, one more KO. Let's move on. King Jacob suited. We need to isolate here our opponent. Okay, a bit cold, small c-bet. Okay, really easy situation to solve. Okay, moving on. Pocket fives and a short stack on big blind. I hope that we could just call here with pocket fives just to make the big blind to enter this spot, but he decided not to come here. Our opponent bet 30% of pot. I think that with our hand we can check raise here because of sizing, because of the board structure. It is our board, and our opponent, who raised from middle position, don't have a lot of nuts here. We decided just to call. I don't like this decision. We could better check raise on flop, because okay, we get 7 on turn. It is a good situation for us to lead in bet, to make a lead in bet here, because we have all the 7s in our calling range and flop. Also, we could have a jack in our range. We decided to check again. Next bullet from our opponent, call again. I don't like our passive play here. Wow. Okay. Double paired board. We decide to make our opponent fold with his ace, but he bets 2 times. I think it is something like a suicide here. Get called. Wow. Double ace. Okay, but I don't like our play here. Again, ace-6 off-suited, rather weak hand for opening. We can just fold low off-suited aces. 5-4 off-suited against a little raise. I think we can call. Get the third pair. Because of sizing, just fold. Okay. Here's the problem that our opponent first he choose a big sizing, and the second, even if he doesn't have any queen in his range, let's imagine he will play in such way with all his straight draws, flush draws, and he'll continue his aggression on turn. And with our hand, it would be very difficult for us to continue on turn against, for example, 70% of the pot betting. So we can just fold here, and I think it's okay. Here we have king queen suited, and our opponent has only 8 bigs, so we can just open shove here. Okay, ace 10 off. Again folds. Open raising from the early position. We decided to cold call here. We can use bluff 3-bet with our hand in such positions, and cold call pre-flop I think will be okay, but we have options here you need to know. We're getting gut shot. Our opponent decided to check here. We can bet versus missed bet here, because if our opponent would have any kind of gut shots or, for example, king, strong king like ace king or king queen, he will bet here. So we need to make our opponent fold his pocket pairs. Leading bet from our opponent. We have such huge equity, we cannot fold here. Also, we have a bounty for our opponent, so I think that we could just I think we should shove here, because if we call on the river, if we will not get our outs, we'll fold. It's not the good variant for us, so we can just add to our equity, fold equity here by shoving. We decided to call, but got our ace on the river, call, and well played. Jack 5. Okay. I really don't like his shove on the river, because we called turn, and he has only 6,000 left in his stack, so I don't think that ace is really good for him to bluff, because we have all the gut shots from the flop. But it was great for us. Here is pocket ace. We need to isolate here because we want to stay in heads up with Kirill. We decided to isolate with a huge size, get called, and here just we decided to bet 2.7 thousand with our hand, so I think that we have a plan just to bet fold here. Wow, we get called. Very interesting. Which hands would he check call here with his stack? So look, we decided to bet exactly our opponent's stack size, 7.1155 chips. So it looks really really strong, and we want to say something like, hey dude, we just want to get all your chips and your bounty. So after betting flop with this sizing, we just cannot have any other options. And yeah, interesting. I really didn't expect that he would fold here anytime. Okay, let's continue. Ace Jack suited, we decided to open raise, get called, and faced squeeze. With our hand, we can just call. Oh, I think that it is one of the best boards for us. We decided just to shove here. Interesting decision, because when we shove here, we put before our opponent a really difficult decision. Because if, for example, he has ace, king, ace, queen, he just need to fold them. If he has any kind of pocket pairs and he want to call here, we have a lot of equity against these hands. But maybe, according to his stack size, it would be better not to donkey shove, but to check shove. So, I mean check, then he bets, and we go all in. Because with this line we can make a little bit more profit by stealing his c-bet. Okay, we decided to play how we played, and we get fold. A lot of interesting spots here. Some of them I really don't like. Some of them are really interesting, and that's how we can reach the final table in Sunday Milan. Again, open limp. Short stack decided to limp here, and we want his KO, so we call pre-flop. We flopped our third pair, and here we should call because of the bounty and because we have some potential in our hand. I really don't like our folding here, because when we call pre-flop, we really didn't expect that with our ace-5 we'll flop the top pair. So it's not the worst board for us, and I think that we should stay for at least one bet here. But we folded, and I don't think that it is a good decision. Next spot, open from cutoff. And again, short stack on the big blind. We want to find against him and fold it again. He just make us to jump into every spot with him, and then just fold on flop. Get the second pair on turn, and we wanted to check shove here, but our opponent decided to check behind. Oh, come on, bet river. We decided to block bet here. I don't think that we could ever make any value here by this betting, so I don't like it. We could just check here. Ace jack off, we have really huge stack, and our opponent is kept by with aces and kings, because with the 25 big stack size he will not open push them. He would just open raise them, so his range is a little bit weaker than we can expect. So here with ace jack we need to also we have two short stacks behind, and they also have their own bounty, and that's why we should go all in here so that we could fight for their bounties too. Yeah, I like the decision, but again they don't want to play with us. Ace 10 off suited. Interesting decision, because he maybe wanted to make us fold and he wanted to hunt for the bounties. But bad luck for him, we had ace-jack, and that was all for him. We decided to open a3 suited. The reason is this short stack. We cannot bluff here because we have one player in all-in, so we will not won this hand until we'll get any pair. So we just have to check here. Okay, King 9 suited, we decided to open raise. Nobody called us. King 6, just call because of short stack. Oh, nice flop. We decided to raise here. I don't think that it is necessary to bet here because we have such a good hand. We don't have a lot of draws because of his cold call pre-flop. I mean swordfish. So I think we could play a little bit tighter here and just call. Jack deuce offsuited, so easy open shove because of the KO. 10-9 suited, get called by big blind. Against his stack size, so we can bet a lot, but I really don't like our size because we don't expect that he would always check push against our bet with air because of our sizing. So we can just use not such a big bets because they are almost similar to small sizings. I mean the total effect. Here our opponent decided to shove his 7 blinds. It is the spot number 37. Let's try to count it using Itemizer. 37, yes. Here we are. As you can see, here are the KO money, but in cheap EV calculation we will not know anything about them. They are not affect any our calculations. Nash equilibrium suggests our opponent to shove 29%. I don't think that he would shove such a big amount of hands because of the KO, and he should understand that everybody wants him, everybody wants to kill him and to get his bounty. So I think that he would shove something like that, maybe not wider, I think. And let's look how can we call here. 7 deuce, a really huge minus, but we just decided to call here, especially because of the $75 and because of we have a lot of chips in our stack and we can afford ourselves to waste 7 bigs, just 7 big blinds. Nice river. It was enough, our pair on turn. Moving on, with our hand we need to 3-bet here. Also look at his stack size. With the 26 big stack size, he will not call our 3-bet with all his range because he don't have enough chips. So our 3-bet success will be really huge. I don't like cold call with our hand. It would better play it by 3-betting. Get squeezed and fold. Really nice fold here with our hand, but I would 3-bet pre-flop. Jack 10 offsuited, we decided to open raise, get called by big blind, value bet on flop, and just fold it. Okay. Again, I hope that we would 3-bet here. Call again, okay. Get a nice flush draw. Decide to raise. I think that the reason here for raising is we just want to go all in on flop, because if we would reach turn and our opponent would shove, would go all in, we will not have enough equity to call according to pot odds. So we want to go all in here right now on flop. So hearts in the river, and boom, really huge bounty for him, and we continue our traveling to the final table. Decided to open a 7 offsuited, get the second pair, decided to turn it into bluff. Not very good run out for us, because it helps his range, because he on flop he calls Jack 10, King, Jack, Ace, Jack. If he for some reasons didn't decide to 3-bet them, so we can just give up. I don't think that we should call here with our 7, because okay, sometime he will bet here with his flush draws and all his floating range, but we need to have a plan for the river, and I don't think that we have it. We decide to bet 5.5. What do we want? We want to make him fold his flushes. This bet is something like we didn't want to face with a huge bet sizing, that's why we decided to bet small. Interesting. All in from our opponent. We fold. Very I don't want to say awful playing on the river, but not very good really. So it were a lot of mistakes here, I think. Okay, continue playing. King 3 suited against very loose cold pre-flop. It would just better to fold with our hand. Didn't flop anything. Bet versus miss a bet and succeed. Ace 3 suited. Ace 10 off. We can limp here or open raise. Get called. We have the top pair. Should value bet here. Raise for our opponent. Okay, we have a lot of equity. We want to call here. I don't want to shove. So 9 on turn. Okay, maybe our opponent could have any kind of 10-9, but there are a lot more hands like overcards, flush draws, weaker tens, and so on. So we have a very strong hand, and we decide to shove turn. Let's imagine what was the reason of this play. I think that here we could think that okay, our opponent could raise us on flop with his all flush draws and backdoors, with the goal to check behind on turn, and if we just shove here, we'll not give him an opportunity to check behind. So maybe it's not the bad decision. It is really interesting, and it has some logical way in it. So our opponent decided to fold. Okay, well for us. Ace 6 suited, just fold pre-flop. I don't like our 3-betting here because we are playing against the early position, and I think that it is a mistake. Okay, we succeed, but still, it is not a good decision. Ace deuce, open raise, get called by big blind, flush draw and cut shot, need to bet here, get called. Here we should bet a lot, something like at least 15. Okay. No, I don't like this check. It is a huge mistake. And so on the river we should bet. Because of his checking, he has a lot of showdown value in this range, like pocket 8s, 7s, queen x10, and we need to show him that we have something like ace king that get straight. Oh, we decided to overbet here. I really like this decision because if we bet something like 30 or 40% of the pot, he would just call us with all his good showdown value. So really good river, but not good turn. Jack-8 suited, loose play. Okay, get called. We have a mono board because of his cold calling range. Pre-flop, middle position versus UTG. I think that he don't have a lot of offsuited hands that could make a flush draw here. So he should have or flush, or he don't have flush draw and any cards connected to this board. So we can very successfully bluff here. We need to bet a second barrel here. Again, check, come on. The first diamonds we need to bluff. We want to make him fold his pairs. But we decided to check again. Come on. Pocket 6s, come on. We could just make this hand fold if we bet on the river with a great size. 6-3 offsuited, decided to defend. Against the middle position, we could just fold. It is so weak hand. Not our board, so just check fold here and move on. King 10 offsuited, we can 3-bet here. Come on, again, cold call, I don't like it. And fold here. Guys, if you watch this video and you want to learn something, just look. If you cold call pre-flop a lot with such hands like King 10 offsuited, it is a mistake. But if you call with such range, just be ready to play aggressively post-flop. Because when we just fold our 2 overs against his bet like 5.5k, why do you call? You want to hit the King X board? It would be really not very often. But okay, let's move on. Ace 4 suited. 3-bet shove, we cannot call it. Okay. 7s, we decided to 3-bet against the early position, and because of his stack size, we are ready to go all in. He just folded, okay. Ace, deuce, such weak hand, but bounty, and we call. Okay, even I will not open the IC miser because it is obvious that we should not call here with ace, deuce if it would be a regular tournament without a KO. But because of this money, calling is okay with our stack size. But not today. Okay, let's move on. Pocket 8s on the button, open raise, folds. Okay, King 8 suited, decided to call pre-flop, get squeezed. Such a huge squeeze. And all in. Okay, fold. Ace 10 offsuited. Again, nobody wants to play with us. Ace Jack open, get called by big blind. I like to see bet here with our hand. We have a lot of backdoors. Again, why are we checking? Maybe now? Oh, yes. Decide to bet, get called, and we get jack on the river. So now we shouldn't bet because if our opponent has something like pocket 10s or 9s, he will not pay on the river because of 3 overcards. If he has something like queen or king, he will not fold, and we could just make value here by betting versus Jack X in his range. But There are not a lot of such hands, so we need to check behind here. Well done. Okay, but we could bet on turn. A7 off, defend, just check fold, okay. King 5 off suited, decided to open raise, get called, we have a top pair, so we need to value bet here. And call, of course, because of this board. Our opponent could shove here with straight draws, flush draws, sorry, with queen x, so easy call for us. And king jet, okay. A7 off, get squeezed, fold again. Ace king suited against two opponents, and two bounties, easy call. Come on, king 8, at least side pot, whereas. Okay, pocket sixes, we decided to cold call pre-flop. I don't think that it is a mistake, it is common decision. Okay, come on, fold with pocket sixes. It is a really huge mistake because our opponent's frequency of c-betting in such board is something like 100%, so we cannot fold with our sixes. It is a mistake. 9-7 again, a hand where we have a small stack size, so then we can just fold pre-flop, because it would be really great for us if we flop flush draw and we would call his shove, but we'll have less than 50% equity against him, so I don't think that we want to call here. So we hit 9. Okay, if you'll get a second 9 on turn, it was really good call pre-flop, and just our opponent is totally empty, was totally empty, sorry. Ace 10 off, decided to open raise, get called by two opponents, decided to bet because of a lot of flush draws here, get called, one folded, okay. 9 again. I like our siding here because we make our opponent to fold his low pairs, and we can just make our opponent to fold some splits, maybe sometimes. So I don't really think that we should bet a lot on turn. I mean, not frequency, but the sizing. Next, 9-7 suited, just call pre-flop, hit the second pair. Okay, check. You know, because of his check on turn, I don't really think that he has any value at his range, so we need to check on the river with our hand just to provoke him to bluff, because if we're lead here, he'll just fold, and that's all. Nice check, really, I like it. But our opponent checked behind. Come on. I wonder how did he want to win this pot? With king high? I don't think so. It was a mistake by our opponent, and it was bad for us. Cold call pre-flop is ace king, decided not to 3-bet. Okay, let it be. Our opponent decided to bet. We can call here. Come on. We're just matching cards. It was again a mistake. Executed, okay. 6-7 open limp here. So just we wanted to play with our hand. Folded, okay. Queen 9 suited on the small blind. Not the best cold call pre-flop from us. We could have better hands here, but okay. Get a flush draw, decided to check call on flop. Check behind and turn. Does our opponent have any kind of kings in his range? Of course he can, because he will not continue betting with kings. Can we make him fold with aces? I mean ace x. I don't think so, so we can just give up here. Okay. Pocket eights, open raise, get called, hit the second set. We need to bet here, and in such board I think that we should have only one bet sizing. It is close to overbet. At least pot bet here. We should not bet here something like half of the pot because of the structure, and if our opponent has something like a flush draw, straight draws with pairs, he will not fold anyway. So we need to bet here huge size. Come on, 6.5. I don't like. Ace on the turn, check behind, check. Do we have here any slide value? Maybe like a small bet. Yeah, I like it. What? King high? He was curious. Do we have any nuts here? So he paid almost 13k for this show. Okay. Thank him. Okay, 5, 6 off suited. Just fold here. Jack 10 suited, call again. Get a gut shot, should call here, okay. Check behind, get a 10. Yeah, I like it. Okay. Queen Jack suited, open raise. King 8. Well played by big blind. Pocket 10s, open raise. It is default. Get squeezed for 41 big blinds. Interesting spot. I think we need to review it using IC Miser. 71st hand. Let's imagine which ranges could be wider. First, our opening range from UTG1. We have a huge stacks and blinds. I don't think that it is our range. Something like that. I think so. Call from the cutoff with the 21 bigs. Also, we'll not have these hands here. Maybe sometime he'll call with pocket aces or kings. We cannot put a variance here, so that we could just click on kings. We're talking about the traps which could be made. Something like that. I think. We don't know even if you want to shove here with his hands. Next, shove from big blinds. 21 big and 36. Maybe he will just call with his hands, so just value range. Ace Jack, I don't think so, really. Something like maybe Ace Jack suited. That's all. So overcalling by cutoff like this. And let's check it. Zero decision with pocket tens, so I decided to fold, and well played. Ace 4 offsuited, decided to open raise, get 3-betting, so we need to fold. King 5 suited, defend on big blinds. We shouldn't fold here. We can play either check raise or check call because we have backdoors and king high, and we probably has a better hand now, but decided to fold. Okay. Okay, not okay. It was a mistake. Ace deuce suited, decided to open raise. 9-8 of Okay, decided to defend. And again, we just give our opponents an opportunity to push us from almost every spot, and it is a problem for us. We need to do something, and I think that it is really late stage of the Sunday Million, so maybe it is the reason why we're playing so soft. Decided to open with pocket fours. Decided not to c-bet here, just check folded. Okay, we don't have any turn cards in what we can continue our aggression, so check fold is okay. King 5 offsuited. Okay, defense. Come on. Well, we will play post flop. Ace-4. Because of our stack, we cannot. We decided to limp, so we can afford ourselves to call. But we have such a problematical stack size that maybe we should just open fold. We cannot do anything. You see, we have backdoors here, but we cannot call because of our stack. So what was the reason for limp calling pre-flop? We could just open fold, and it's all. Aces, hooray! 3-bet shove because of his stack and because of our KO. It is really expensive, so that's why we decided to shove. Wow, quads and flop. And Queen Jack suited for 20 bigs because of our bounty. Okay, Jack 9 suited, decided to call. Okay, obvious c-betting. Next c-bet. Okay, easy. Queen Jack suited, so we can call here. Also we can 3-bet, but decided to call and provoked big blind for squeezing. Ace King off suited, 3-bet, decided just to 3-bet shove, okay, as an option. King Queen suited, decided to open raise. Ace 8 need to call pre-flop. Get 2 pairs, decided to check call and check raise turn. Yep. Well played by our opponent. He decided to bluff the second barrel, and we make value here by checking the second time. Queen 10 suited, decided to complete pre-flop, c-bet here, easy. Pocket jacks. I think that we can 3-bet here to widen his range. Very nice flop for us. I don't like our overbet here. We just need to bet something like, let me see, something like at least 70k, so that we could go all in on turn, and we, again, a small but a mistake. Queen 10 suited, we can 3-bet here with our stack, 3-bet shove, but because of our bounty we don't want to, and also our hand plays post-flop really good, so we can afford ourselves to call. Check call and flop, okay. We decided not to check shove, not to check push and flop. It was really good option, and we decided to go in a passive way. Again, we make very difficult decisions for us on turn 9. Now Jack's helping, and he bet a second barrel, and we don't have enough pot odds to call. Don't have enough odds to call according to pot odds, but we decided to call. And Magic River. We want to get at least something from our opponent, and we are, wow, pocket nines set. Okay, but what would we do if we'll not get this jack on the river? Just check fold and that's all. Difficult for us. Next, ace 5 offsuited, decided to open raise. Get called by small blind. Should see bet here with our hand. Get called. Ace on turn. Nice check behind. And value bet on the river. No, we decided to check. I think it is a mistake. We have a slight value bet here against the 10x, all the second pairs. Why did we check here? Okay, maybe we couldn't get any value from pocket fives, but our opponent has a lot of had more hands in his range, which could pay us. King 10 offsuited with our stack should be 3-betted here. I hope that we will not call. Oh, okay. 3-bet, moving on. Ace queen off, open raise. Ace king offsuited. Effective stack only 19 big blinds, so just 3-bet push. Decided to 3-bet, come on, it is awful, because it looks really scareful. Of course our opponent decided to fold. Ace 9 suited, decided to raise. Check behind. You know, I like our check behind here because of the board structure. It helps our opponent a lot, and very good turn for him for bluff. And we decided to call here because he'll bet with all his flush draws, with all his air because of the run out on the turn. And here we are. We decided to check behind because we don't want to spoil our hands by betting. So split pot, okay. 10-8 suited and 10 bigs we need to call because of the bounty amount, and also we have a 45 big stack size. We can afford to call here. And come on. King 7 suited, need to protect. Decided to donkey bet here. Again, we make our opponent to fold all his weak hands, and I think it would be better here to check shove. Get called, decide to bet again. I don't know what are we doing here. Is it a value betting or bluffing? Something in the middle of that. I don't like our second barrel here. Get called again, and lucky river. Decided to go all in and get called. Whoa, unlucky river, as you can see. But I don't like our play here. We should check push and flop. Limp from early position, need to isolate here. We say it's jack off suited, limp shove. Well played by our opponent. We cannot call here and have to fold. Okay, jack 10, call versus early position. Don't have any backdoors on flush. You know, after the second check, it would good for us to try to make our opponents to fold some of their hands, like Ace X, King X combos. We should bet at least somewhere. Lost again, Ace High. These pocket tens should be pushed. Okay, easy. Ace King, present from early position again. 8 bigs. We have Ace King, decided to shove here and straight on the river. Ace Queen offsuited, decided to open raise. I don't think that we need to see bet here because we have a showdown value with our Ace High, and we are afraid of being check raised on flop, so check behind is okay. And here we cannot protect against such a huge bet. Again, pocket tens, open raising, get called by blinds, should value bet here. I think that it is a good decision. I mean, the bet sizing on flop. Get called by 2 opponents. Need to check here. And I think that we have a slight value bet here because if our opponent would have ace of spades, he would lead on the river, so we can try to value bet the weaker flushes, but we didn't want to do it. So okay, ace-7 suited could be cold or 3-betted as Ruslan wishes. He decided to call. Should bet versus miss bet here, easy. Queen 10 suited. Decided not to c-bet, just check fold. I think this is a weak play here. We need to protect our hand and our checking range too. Ace-5 offsuited, decided to open, get called, need to c-bet, okay, get called. King on the turn, great card for continue our aggression. We need to bet here, but need to bet huge, so that we want to make our opponent fold something like 8s, 7s, weak 10x hands. Need to bet something like 300 chips, 300k. I think we should bet more because we want to make him folding 10x. But it was enough, he folded. Ace Jack off suited. Look at the KO for our opponent, almost $1,000. Very late stage of the tournament. Check, check, get ace, decided to value bet here, and he was totally empty. Ace queen off. King 6, limp again. I don't like really this decision because we have such a cool situation for open push because of his bounty and because of his stack size. I think it is a huge mistake. Let's imagine, I really don't know if it's top 3 tables or more. Let's imagine that it is like 25, 26 players left, and try to count this situation. King 6 and here we are. Let's imagine that it is an ICM situation. We cannot use MTT mode because we are not in the final table here. Really interesting. So let's try to count here our Nash range to shove from small blind versus big. We can shove really a lot of hands, even if our opponent calls with this range. And if, for example, he is calling wider, he's calling less hands, like this, then you could just shove any 2 hands. We decided to call. It is a great mistake, especially because of the bounty. Next, we decided to check here. We get a king on the river, decided to value bet, slide value bet against 7x, against 10x. Okay, well played. But pre-flop, very bad played. Ace-9 suited, decided to call. Not our board, just folded. Ace-8 suited, decided to call again. We have a lot of hands, suited hands that we can just call pre-flop. We don't want to make any aggressive moves because of the late stage of the tournament. He decided to bet, we need to call here. Check, check. I think that we don't need to bet versus 2 opponents here because a small blind called the third, so he should have something. And I think that on such turn, on the 10 of spades, he will not fold, he will not give up. And again, our river decide to 3x raise here. We want our opponent to pay us with king. I really don't expect that he will call here such greedy bet, so he decided to fold. I really think that we made him to fold king. King 9, Off-suited, decided to call pre-flop. Donk here. I don't like donking on the paired boards. It would be better to check raise here with our hands, but not donkey. But okay, successful play, but I don't like it. Okay, ace 4 suited, decided to play by completing. Decided not to bet because of very coordinated board. Get straight on the river, a little belly bet, get called. Okay, pocket sevens, get squeezed. Could be call here. If we call, the pot will be more than 1000k. We decided just to fold here. We have such a huge stacks that we could try to call, but I think it depends on our mood here, and it's not a big mistake to fold with sevens. Ace queen off suited, should 3-bet here, at least call, but 3-bet would be better because of his stack size. For him, it is not easy to play 3-bet pots out of position in such a late stage. So we provoke big blind to come into this spot, and we just cannot do anything because of him. Now, pocket sixes decided to open raise, get 3-bet, like easy call. Check behind. Just want to protect our hand against the overcards. Get raised. I don't like such kind of protection bets on turn, because what are we talking about? We want to say that we have a queen or what? So we are representing not a lot of hands, and it is a problem. And it will not be really strange if he'll play in such way with some kind of spades, 2 spades, I mean flush draw, just because our sizing. I don't understand what story are we telling here. Next, 6-4 suited against min raise, need to defend. Well, board is pretty good. Decided to check call because of the king on the flop. Again, the same like with the queen 10 suited, if you remember. Decided to play double check call out of position. I don't really like this play, because if, for example, we'll hit our flush on the river, how can we get any value? We'll just check and wait that our opponent would bluff. Or if we don't hit our flush, what would we do? I don't like this stuff. It is again mistakes. Ace 4 suited, call pre-flop, cannot do anything, having a big blind behind. Ace jack suited, decided to open shove for 13 bigs. It is okay, because of we don't have the full table here. Decided to cold call here with jack 10 suited. I think it is okay because of, again, our bounty is really huge, so we don't want to provoke him to call us. And our hand is playing post-flop very well. Decided to stop and go here, get called, and get called by 10-6. It is really important double up, because it is like semi-final of the tournament. Here we want to call with AZ suited. Such a huge bounty for 600 chip, $600. Risky, but it is okay. So we want to fold if big blind would somehow decide to push here. And 8 on the river, come on. And $600. Pocket tens. Decided to cold call here. Wanted to maybe to provoke the big blind for squeezing. Decided to check here. Again, okay. A7 suited versus button. He had almost 50 bigs, decided to call here. Check call, don't want to create big pots, just try to pot control, check behind our opponent. So we want to go to the showdown with our hand, and our opponent decided not to bluff on the river. I didn't like his playing because he should continue his aggression on turn. So bad for him, because I don't really think that we could call the huge bet on the river. So he could win this spot, but he didn't do anything. 7-5, need to protect, get a lot of backdoors. Don't want to fight, it's a problem. King Jack offsuited, I'd like to squeeze here, it is a very cool situation. Call. I don't like our decision here. Pocket kings. Just in time. And nobody pays. Nobody pays for us, yeah. Pocket tens, okay. Want pot control here, decided to bet on turn. I think it is a mistake because we wanted to pot control. Jack is not a good card for us to continue betting, so we need to check and pray for checking behind from our opponents. Good fault on the river, but a mistake on turn. Ace Jack, again we have a low stack, need to double up. Not now. I don't think that we should shove here our hand because our opponent has a huge stack size and we have a huge bounty, and he would call wider, and if he call wider, then our ace-5 offsuited will be in a very bad situation post-flop while calling. But it was okay here. 7 bigs again. How could he fold here? 8 bigs and a big bounty. I wonder if he has something like 7 deuce off. Ace-10 offsuited. Decided to shove here. Get called for the bounty with queen high. Doubled up. I like that we don't shove here. Come on. It was raised from the early position. Decided to cold call here and folded flop. So it is top two tables. So we don't want to die here. Wow, $1,000. We need to play here with our not really bad hand, and cannot do anything here. Need to fold. Okay, well played. Ace king, shove again. Double. No, not double up. Ace-6 off. Need to shove here. Fold again. Pocket aces. Because of our previous play, I think that we need to shove here with aces. You don't need to raise or open limp because it will be obvious that we would have here very strong hand if we will not, if we wouldn't shove. So, well played, but nobody helped us. Ace-10 offsuited, shove again. Again, double folds, eights. Why nobody plays with us? Decided to prove. Come on! We decided to limp and shove, but limp and fold. I'd like to open push here, not just limp folding. It would be better just open fold with our hand and with our stack. Pocket fives, and it's now or never. Decided to shove. We have only 5 bigs. Get called and double up. Really important double up. Ace-10 suited, open shove, Ace-8 suited, 13 bigs. Let's check it. Come on, we cannot check it because of the stage of the tournament, because of the KOs. But we don't cover him. So why MTT mode is inactive? Interesting, very interesting. Of course, if he'll shove here Nash range, which is easy call with 8 S8, and I think that it is really important to make such calls because many of players don't like to do them because they say, okay, I'll better push myself again at the next hand and not to call here. I decide to call and hasten the turn. Interesting situation. We just didn't KO him, and we wanted his KO. Just called with 10-3 offsuited. And look at this situation. It is really interesting because our opponents have really weak stakes, like 14 bigs here and 16 bigs here, and also we have Leo in all-in. Here we can try to bluff with our air, because if we check, we'll lost this hand almost always. And because of him, with his bounty, I'd like to bet here. Not a huge bet really, just like 2 or 3 big blinds. It would be enough. We just need to bet here. We decided to bet 30% of the pot and get 2 folds. It is really cool. He had a lot of mistakes during this tournament, but this decision was really great. And we just won another bounty. We doubled up our bounty. It is very cool. And we got a really huge stack, so that we could call here, hit our 7, need to protect it, 7 again. I think that we should fold here because of the sizing. I don't expect him bluffing here in such way. So great fold. Ace-9 offsuited, open raise. Kings get called. Ace on the flop. Decided not to bet here. Rather default called on turn, and here check. Bad luck for us. And here we are, the final table. Let's count it. Last hand. I created the structure of this tournament, and let's imagine the ranges. He has 40 bigs. We are the shortest stack here. And also I remember that there were 9 players here, but two of them were in like sit outs, and one of them had something like 10 bigs, and the second one has a really huge stack of something like 30 bigs. So, and let's imagine, can we shove here with ace-king offsuited? I remind you that here we are at the final table of the Sunday Million. It was a KO Sunday, and we really don't want to lose our tournament life. And let's count this situation. Open raising from middle position. I think that with his stack he would open really wide. something like that, maybe suited king. At least this may be wider, but we cannot know exactly. And his calling range. I think that for our bounty he will not call really narrow. He would call any suited ace, pocket fives, king, queen, and jack, just because of the KO. Something like that, I think, because he has a huge stack. And calculation. So we can really shove here. Sorry, cheap EV. My bad. Again. Here we are. And ace king we cannot fold. We cannot fold it. As you can see, our KOs are included in calculations, so we just cannot afford ourselves to fold with ace king here. And bad luck for us, we decided to shove, he called, and we had king on the flop and bow. The final table of the Sunday Million, and such a bad luck for us. So we earned here something like $7,000, and I don't know, should we be in a good mood or in a bad mood, because 7,000 really not bad, but final table of Sunday Million with huge prizes for the first place. So let's make a conclusion. Ruslan has a lot of mistakes here. I really don't like his playing in almost half of the decisions that were reviewed today, but some of hands were played really in a good way. And what should we know? We should know that every of you can study something, can increase your skills, and Ruslan wants to. So we will continue our studying with him. And if you have any questions, you can type them below. You can leave them in the comments. So see you in next videos. Bye.
Attention please. Wanna save 300 euros only until the end of this month? Poker Room is ready to pay for you. Academy of Poker course includes group training, 3 personal lessons from professional poker coach, personal manager and bonus up to 30 euros from Poker Room. Hurry up, the offer extends soon. A link to sign up is in the description under this video.